Ice cream is one of my favorite desserts. Personally, I love chocolate, and I love cookies and cream. Cookies and cream is actually my all-time favorite dessert. But I understand that for some of you, your favorite flavor is vanilla.
Wow, it's finally happened. World of Warcraft will have official legacy servers in which players can once again experience the vanilla level 1 to level 60 grind, let's be honest. It was announced at Blizzcon this week with a quite brilliant build-up featuring a joke about ice cream, and yeah, World of Warcraft Classic is now truly in development. Shortly after the announcement itself, I spoke to Blizzard about the project, and although they were wary of giving too many details, we did get some good answers out of them in the end. And you can read that full interview on Eurogamer.net, or instead, in this video, I'm going to carry you through all the most important bits. Please don't aggro. Number 1. Let's start with what Blizzard doesn't know right now. They don't know when it'll be released. I pushed them to say whether or not WoW Classic was months away or years away from being playable, and their response was quite simply, this is a massive effort, which translates roughly to, I'm not going to answer that question, you'll only make me regret doing so later on. They also, at present, aren't ready to say how players are going to pay for this. Is it a one-time purchase or another subscription, or is it free to all players that already have active accounts? Their answer? No idea, which roughly translates to, no idea. Number 2, they are making one commitment very, very clear, however, and this perhaps explains why they've been wary of talking about legacy servers in the past. Now that WoW Classic has been formally announced, they promise to support this service for as long as there is a World of Warcraft. This means if you do make the considerable time investment of leveling a character all the way to level 60, your progress is safe. Blizzard has said definitively they will keep the servers on for as long as there are players to use them. That's one hell of a promise, and in fairness to this team, Blizzard has a great history for doing exactly that. You can still play Warcraft 3 custom maps today, for example, and I imagine you'll still be able to play them in about 10 years' time. Number 3, World of Warcraft Classic intends to recreate the vanilla experience as closely as possible. That means not including many of the quality of life improvements the modern game enjoys. There'll be no looking for dungeon or looking for raid support, the UI will look dated, and as one of the developers pointed out to me, when you cast the intellect buff with your mage, you can damn well expect to need to drink afterwards and restore your mana. This is not going to be a casual experience. It's not supposed to be a casual experience. It's meant, instead, to be an authentic one. Number 4, however, here's an interesting thing to consider. If you're recreating vanilla World of Warcraft, which version of vanilla World of Warcraft do you go with? Before WoW's first expansion, the Burning Crusade, arrived, there were 2 years worth of patches and additions to the game. So which version exactly are Blizzard planning to recreate? Well, they haven't decided yet, I'm told, and we'll be looking to the community to help find that answer. Number 5, speaking of the community, Blizzard owes an awful lot to the unofficial legacy servers for World of Warcraft for showing them just how much interest there was in this stuff in the first place. They were forced to send cease and desist warnings to teams like Project Nostalrius, but Blizzard aren't unaware of the debt they owe to those teams. In fact, they remain in semi-regular contact with the leads on Nostalrius, and I'm told they'd even be open to hiring them at some stage if they could figure out some visa issues, as they're both based in France. Number 6, there are now going to be 2 separate development teams for World of Warcraft. The core team will continue to focus on upcoming content like the newly announced Battle for Azeroth expansion, while this brand new second team will concentrate completely on WoW Classic. Why is that important? Well, Blizzard told us that by hiring new developers rather than bringing people across from that other team, they can avoid this project having any real impact on the expansion. Or to put it bluntly, as the game's senior producer explained to me, how many raids is WoW Classic going to cost Battle for Azeroth? The answer is 0. And number 7, yes, finally, this is something I was told multiple times during my interview, WoW Classic is not an insignificant project. Blizzard will need to rebuild much of the original infrastructure to allow it to function with modern hardware, and on a programming level, it's a vastly different game today than it was back then. Given that the team is still hiring devs to work on this thing, I really wouldn't expect it'll be up and running anytime soon. Something to bear in mind there, we're a ways off this thing being in our hands, but hey, at least after all these years of pressure from fans and all these interviews we've had where we've asked them the same question over and over again, they are now doing it, and hopefully they're doing it right. Thank you very much for watching. This is just one of the videos we'll be publishing from BlizzCon this year. I'm about to go out and play the new Overwatch character, so expect something on that at some point, and yeah, have a couple of ideas for things I'd like to film while we're out here. So yeah, keep an eye out on the channel over the next couple of days, and there'll be some Blizzard related things, I'm sure. See you then.